A psychologist at the University of Texas at Austin spent more than 20 years building the first scientific framework for self compassion. Her research, replicated across dozens of studies, shows that people who treat themselves with kindness when they fail change their behavior faster, not slower, than people who attack themselves. Boy, that's a hard habit to learn, but self compassion is so important. Question six of the seven mindful questions, what can I do better, only works if self compassion is underneath. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Lisa, and this is Science Backed, Soul Supported, day six of the 7 in 7 7-day challenge. And yesterday we chose the essential. However, today we're going to take a second step back up that staircase. Question six, what can I do better? And I always say that question six is rough. It's the change agent. Because once you realize what's essential, and then you start to look about what can you do better, you see those patterns in there, and you see where the harmful ones are, or the ones that you definitely need to improve. What can I do better? It's very difficult to learn that self compassion, where you really have to tune in to make that change and work on it. Yesterday, we cut everything but the essential. And today, we ask a question most people are terrified to ask honestly. Question six, what can I do better? The teacher today is Kristen Neff. She's an associate professor at the University of Texas at Austin, who in 2003 published the first scientific scale for measuring self compassion. 20 plus years later, her work has been replicated in hundreds of studies around the world, translated into 18 languages, and made into a leading evidence based intervention. Dr. Neff's model has three components: self kindness instead of judgment, common humanity instead of isolation, and mindfulness instead of over identification with thoughts. Here's the finding that always stops people. Across multiple meta analyses, the research is clear. People who treat themselves with kindness when they fail change their behavior faster than people who attack themselves. Self criticism doesn't produce growth. Self criticism is shame, paralysis, and the exact same behavior all over again. Self compassion is the same compassion you would extend a friend who's going through the same situation. So take yourself out of it and imagine that you're consoling a friend. And that's what produces the change. That counters almost everything that we were raised on. Be hard on yourself, hold yourself to a high standard, don't let yourself off the hook. I mean, there's even some people still in this day are of that old mindset about, push yourself hard. Anyway, Neff's 20 years say that approach is not working. And honestly, I did that mistake for so many years that it landed me in the emergency room. I actually thought I was going to die. But that's when everything changed for me. And what question six, what can I do better, became a daily effort for me, and everything in my life changed after that. But at first I was asking it harshly. And that's when the question's a weapon. The list of what I did wrong, what I'm wrong about, what I always do wrong, and that list paralyzed me. And it will you as well. If you ask it gently, the question becomes a hinge. Patterns become visible. The broken record themes that loop through a life come into focus and start to lose their charge. The pattern you can see, you can name. The pattern you can name, you can begin to change. And in the ebook, I tell a story I want to retell today because it's the cleanest version of how question six actually lands. So in November of 2014, it was my birthday. And I was driving from Pittsburgh to Alexandria, Virginia, not very far, but it was 6 hours for a work meeting. And it was much faster than trying to take a plane, right? So all day I was the sounding board for several friends and family. I kept getting, they knew I was in the car, so they would call. And, that's the way it had been for years. I made a point of being available, present, and kind. And on the long drive, in the quiet, a single thought arrived: who's there for me? And the answer became crystal clear. Nobody remembered. 2 late night texts arrived after I was asleep, and that was the data. I went to bed that night with one sentence in my head: I need new friends. And over the next year, I moved 500 miles. The year after that, another 500. I let go of relationships that were one-way streets. I let in new ones that were give and take. Question 6 was the engine. What can I do better? Honestly, gently, without making myself the villain in a story that I had so eloquently wrote. The pattern, picking takers over givers, giving without receiving, came into focus once I stopped attacking myself for it. Tony Robbins in Awaken the Giant Within calls these the moving toward and moving away moments. We change either because the pain of the old pattern finally exceeds the inertia of staying, or because the pull of the new pattern finally exceeds the comfort of the old. The forgotten birthday was a moving away moment. The friends I have today are the moving toward result. Either kind of motivation works, but neither one survives if it's built on a foundation of beating yourself up. So here's the practical move. Pick one pattern, just one, that broken record you're tired of hearing, where the line is in the sand, like I can't do this anymore. Ask question 6 when you're in Dr. Neff's field of self compassion. What could I do better? Said the way you would to a friend you love. Now, tomorrow we close the staircase with the best alternative. Today, see that pattern with kindness and not contempt. Pick one recurrent pattern. That's today's challenge. One recurrent pattern. It can be financial, relationships, professional, actually anything. And spend 10 minutes writing this single sentence and finishing it. If my best friend came to me with this exact pattern, the thing I could honestly tell her about doing it better would be, and just let it flow. Don't edit, just let the information come. Then, and this is the really hard part, receive that advice from yourself and apply it tomorrow. The Power of Seven workshop is where we work the patterns together in real time with the self-compassion field already established in the group. 4 Wednesdays starting June 4th, 4 days from today. The workshop link is in the description. If today's video softened anything, hit like, drop a comment with the one pattern you're ready to name with kindness. I absolutely read every comment. And share with someone who's been attacking themselves in the same pattern for years. Follow me. I absolutely appreciate every single follower. Thank you so much for being part of this community. Tomorrow we close with question 7, the best alternative. So like, subscribe, share, click the little bell thing, and do all the things. I'll see you tomorrow.